Today we're going to look at a feature in Safari on the Mac that lets you translate a web page or selected text within a web page to another language. This can be useful if you encounter content on a web page that you'd like to translate into another language, or maybe it's in another language and you want to translate it into your primary language, English being my primary language. Well, we can easily do this with Safari. Let's see how. Now, before we get started, if you like what you see here, stick around to the end. I'll tell you a little bit more about myself and how you can help support my efforts in creating these videos. All right, with that out of the way, let's take a look at how we can translate text with Safari on the Mac. Let's go over to my Mac. First thing I want to mention is I am using a MacBook with macOS Sequoia, but that is not a requirement. This does work on older versions of macOS. So what is a requirement? Well, we need to add the languages. So I'm looking at an article here on Canada, and what I would like to do is maybe view this in French, being that it's in Canada. So I want to translate this. Well, I'm not going to be able to do that until I add French as another language to the Mac. So how do we do that? Well, we have to do that through the Settings app. So we first have to set up the Mac with our other languages, and we can add more than one. So I'm just going to go and hide Safari here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the Apple menu in the upper left-hand corner, and then we're going to go to our System Settings. Again, we have to set up the Mac with our other languages. So I select this, and then from here what we do is we go over to General, and under General what you're going to see is Language and Region. This is where we go and add our languages. Once we add our languages, then we can use Safari to help us translate a web page. So I select this, and then you're going to see English here as my preferred language. So all I have to do now is just click on the little plus here and add my other languages. And again, we can add more than one. So let's go ahead and do that. Click on the plus. We're going to go with Spanish. And I click on Add. Once I click on Add, what I need to do now is set what my preferred language is, or primary language is. In my case, it's English. I prefer English for everything, but every once in a while I may want to translate it into another language. So I have to click on Use English as my preferred language. So I select it. And now we go back up here and we do the same thing for French. Click on it, swipe up, we go to French. And again, I need to set English as my primary language. Select it. And now we can see we have English, Spanish, and French. And English is my primary language. So now it is set up. Now when we go back into Safari, we're going to be able to translate text. So let's do that. I'm going to close this, and we're going to go back over to Safari. And now what I need to do is I need to refresh the page. Right now, Safari doesn't know that it can translate this, so I need to refresh it. So I'm just going to click on the little refresh icon here. And when I do, now that I have those other languages, you're going to see that I have a new icon over here on the right. This icon allows me to translate the text on this web page. All I need to do is just click on this. Actually, I have to click on it twice. The first time that I click on it, it's going to select the address bar. And then I click on it again, and now what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to translate. And I can translate it into Spanish or French. Those are the two languages that I added. So let's go with French here. Select it. And I go and enable it. You only have to do that once. And now we can see that it translated into French. To bring it back to English, I just go back up over to this icon here. I click on it, and I say View Original. So I select it, and now it's going to bring it back to English, my preferred language. So all we have to do is just click on this little icon here. You may have to click on it twice, and then you select the language that you want. Now, in addition to that, it can also translate to English. So when we go over to this web page here, this is in Spanish, and I would like to translate this to English. So all we have to do is just go up to the top here. I select it, click on it again. First time it selects this area here, and then when I click on it again, I can say Translate to English. So I select it, and now it's going to translate that web page into English. I want to bring it back to its original language, Spanish. I just go back up to the top, and then I say View Original. And now it's going to be back in Spanish. Now we can do this also with selected text. So let's just say that I wanted to translate this text here into English. I select the text, and then I control click. I hold down the control key and click, and then you're going to see translate. I select this, and then from here I'm able to translate it into English. If I wanted to translate this into French, I could do that as well. I select English here, and I can go and select French. And when I do, now it translated this Spanish into French. So in addition to translating entire web pages, we can also just translate selected text. So that is how we can translate text with Safari on the Mac. Now the key to making this all work is we need to add the languages to our settings. So you just go into the Settings app, go to General, and then you're going to see Language and Region. Add the languages that you'd like to translate to. Remember to set your preferred language. In my case, I had to set it to English. That is my primary or preferred language. Once you do that, when you go back into Safari and refresh the page, what you're going to be able to do is translate the web page or translate the text within that web page. So that's how you can translate text on the Mac with Safari. Now, if you found this video helpful, what you may want to do is like the video. You can share it with your friends and family. You can subscribe to my channel. You also may want to check out my site, danstutorials.com. In addition to having more videos than I have on YouTube, I also have an AI assistant that is modeled after an Apple Genius, and I hold classes and webinars on a regular basis. And all this is available through my site, danstutorials.com. So how can you help support my efforts? Well, the site is a membership-based site. So you have to be a member to enjoy the AI assistant, to enjoy the classes. Also, when you do become a member, I take out all of the ads of the videos. So you're not going to see any of those ads. In addition to that, you're also helping support a small business. It is just me in a corner office of my house. I'm not part of some large organization. So when you become a member, you are directly supporting my efforts in creating these videos. Check out danstutorials.com for more information, and thanks for watching.